Today I want to talk about a topic that I know you're all familiar with. It's over-talking. When people are around you and they ramble and ramble and ramble and go on, and they're not even saying anything remotely of importance, I want to talk about over-talking. Hang on. I'm doing a video about over-talking because it's there for a reason. It's a symptom. So as a therapist, I want to talk about what's underneath all the excessive rambling and over-talking, because there are reasons for that. Now, we've all been around people who just simply go on and on, and probably they're not realizing that what they're really doing is pushing us away. So if you ever want to try that as an experiment yourself, if you're not somebody who rambles on too much, just give it a try and you will see it's a good way to push people away. The over-talking all ties into a person's self-worth. When you don't like yourself very much, when you don't think people value you and therefore you're not valuing yourself, when you don't feel like you're going to be heard, maybe you grew up not being heard in life by your family of origin, when you don't feel like you're important inside, when you don't feel like you have much to offer, when you want people to hear you because you're feeling like they're trying to get away from you, you're going to compensate for that by talking even more. The other part of this is anxiousness. When people are dealing with anxiety on a variety of levels, it could be what's happening in the world, it could be your personal life, your love life, it could be what you had to endure in your home life growing up, wherever it's coming from. If the anxiousness is percolating up and you're not aware of where it's coming from perhaps, then you're going to just go into automatic mode, which is just to ramble and ramble and ramble because the feelings are too uncomfortable to sit with. To just simply tolerate those feelings, whatever they are, and sit with them in stillness. Automatic mode will be, I gotta make the feeling go, I gotta get it away, and I'm just gonna talk. And that covers up an underlying anxiety. In my opinion, it seems to be increasing in today's society even more so than in the past because of all the social media nowadays and a sense of entitlement that wasn't so present in past generations. So when you add those two things together, the social media with the sense of entitlement, you have people that just want to tell their story on. And now it'll go on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. And now you have followers, so now you think you're being valued even more for your ability to talk. And it can be entertaining, but quite often it's just more of the train wreck of it all that's drawing people in. I will bring somebody up who I think does this very well, and she's very likable, but she's very honest about the fact that it comes from a dark place for her, and that place that it comes from has to do with addiction and depression and a low self-worth and some eating disorders, but she is good at rambling, and her name is Trisha Paytas. P-A-Y-T-A-S. So if you're interested in seeing what I mean about somebody who's really good at rambling but is very empty inside, check out Trisha's YouTube channel. So if you're somebody who is an over-talker and you're willing to address this just by watching this video, for example, maybe that's what drew you to this, you want to work on it, then take a breath, take a step back and think about what you're saying and why you're saying it. Allow yourself to pause before you just jump in there and start another conversation or react to somebody by giving your feedback to them when maybe they don't necessarily want your feedback. It's going to be important that you slow down, slow it all down, take a breath, and reflect before you jump into conversations. And also think about how your words are going to be perceived by others. How are people taking that information in? How are people hearing you? Is that something you're aware of? Is that something you're thinking about? Is that something that goes into your thoughtfulness about the conversation you're having? If it's not, then that's something to start adding to your conversations. Thinking about how you're being perceived. Is it coming from your heart, and are you sharing valuable information that is meaningful to you or to somebody else? Or are you just rambling to hear yourself talk? If you're somebody on the receiving end of this, you have a family member or a friend, coworker, somebody who is an excessive talker, what you could begin to practice is having healthier, firmer boundaries with that type of person. It certainly is fair game to ask them to get to the point, to tell them you're running short on time, or to be more direct and say that you believe that they're rambling and you need to get on with your day. Now, that may seem hurtful to some people, but sometimes we have to be brutally honest with people that we care about. To somebody who is a talkaholic, it is fair game for you to let them know that. Now, I'd be aware of your expectations. In doing so, nothing may change at all, but what I'm referring to is you setting up healthy boundaries for yourself. This is about you, not so much expecting the other person to change. Now, if you are a talkaholic and you realize it's coming from an empty place in you, a void, a sad, dark place, and you don't know what to do with it, so you talk to compensate for that void, then that's when I would encourage you to get into some therapy. I would encourage you to go process and talk about the void in you, whether that comes from childhood trauma or some type of emotional pain, wherever it comes from, you need to discuss it with a therapist. And in doing so, it will probably lessen the symptom of the over talking. But without doing the work, the symptom may always be there and perhaps even increase as you get older, because you're always going to be trying to compensate for the void and the lack of connection with others that you're feeling inside. So please look inward, please look at what's going on with you, take that breath, slow down, pace yourself, and see what it's like to be still. What comes up for you when you're still? May be interesting to find out. What kind of feelings percolate up? If it's extremely uncomfortable, and it probably will be, that's good. That's when you're getting to the meat of the matter with some feelings that then arise when you are still. Maybe you're thinking like, oh, they're not going to like me, I'm not talking. It's a great feeling to talk to a therapist about. I'm not going to be connected to them because I'm not talking. It's a great feeling to talk to your therapist about. So whatever comes up is going to be rich in terms of giving you some understanding and meaning as to why you're rambling on so much. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you like these kind of mental health videos. And until next week, I'm Brad Shore signing off from Ask a Shrink.